Have you ever experienced this? You start eating more disciplined, training more consistently, the scale goes down, your face looks leaner, your arms and legs get slimmer, but when you look in the mirror, your lower belly is still there, stubborn, resistant, almost unchanged. And then you begin to doubt yourself. You think maybe you're not eating clean enough. So you cut more carbs, you train harder, add more cardio, but the more you push, the more exhausting it becomes. Not only does your body stop changing, your belief in yourself slowly erodes too. What many people don't realize is this: lower belly fat is not a willpower problem. It's also not simply the result of eating wrong. It's your body's last line of defense, a deeply programmed biological mechanism where your body prioritizes holding on to energy to protect vital organs. So even if you're doing many things right, you can still feel stuck here. The problem isn't that you lack effort. The problem is that you're trying to solve a biological equation with an overly simple approach. You're focusing only on food and workouts, while your body operates based on hormones, circadian rhythm, stress levels, and the way you live your daily life. When these factors aren't aligned, your body holds on to lower belly fat as a safe zone, not because it's working against you, but because it's trying to protect you in the only way it knows. And once you understand this mechanism, you'll realize this is no longer a battle against your body. It's a process of learning how to make your body feel safe enough to let go.
Before we begin, take a second to like and subscribe so you don't miss content that helps you transform your body in a smarter and more sustainable way every day.
1. The common misunderstanding: why dieting alone doesn't work. You've done almost everything people recommend: strict dieting, consistent training, disciplined meals. The scale drops, your body tightens in many areas, but your lower belly stays the same, as if it doesn't belong to the rest of your body. And you arrive at a very familiar conclusion: I must be eating wrong. So you cut more carbs, you reduce portions, you try stricter plans. But the harder you restrict, the more your body pushes back. Energy drops, your mood declines, and your lower belly still doesn't change. The issue lies in how you're viewing body fat. Imagine your body like multiple accounts. Some areas are easy to withdraw from, like your face, arms, and legs. With even a small calorie deficit, your body is willing to pull energy from there. But the lower belly is like a vault. You can't just access it whenever you want. Your body doesn't operate based on aesthetics. It operates to preserve life. And the lower belly protects vital organs. So in any energy deficit, this area is the last place your body is willing to let go. That's why you can lose fat overall, but still feel stuck in your lower belly. Your effort isn't wrong. Your approach needs adjustment. Focusing only on dieting makes you overlook deeper drivers like hormones, stress levels, sleep, and circadian rhythm. When these aren't regulated, your body doesn't feel safe enough to open that vault. It's not that you're eating wrong, you're just not influencing the mechanism your body actually responds to. And once you understand this, you stop forcing your body to change and start creating the conditions for it to change willingly.
2. The biological mechanism: fat burn versus fat store switches. Your body doesn't burn fat based on desire or emotion. It runs on a precise signaling system where each fat area is programmed to respond differently. Inside your body are two biological switches that control fat burning and fat storage. Beta receptors activate fat release, allowing your body to use stored energy. Alpha receptors do the opposite. They lock fat in place and limit fat burning. What matters is how they're distributed. Your arms, legs, and face have a higher density of beta receptors. When you create a calorie deficit or exercise, your body easily turns on fat burning in these areas. That's why your face slims down quickly and your limbs get leaner. But the lower belly, hips, and chest have more alpha receptors, powerful fat-locking switches that make releasing energy much harder. It's like your body has placed a security lock over these areas. And here's where most people get stuck. The area you want to lose fat from the most is the area your body protects the most. The more you try to force fat loss there quickly, the more your body responds by holding on tighter, not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're going against how your body is designed. Understanding this changes your perspective. You stop seeing lower belly fat as a stubborn enemy and start seeing it as a biological system with a purpose. When you maintain a calorie deficit long enough and create the right hormonal environment, your body will eventually shift into a state where it's ready to release fat, even from the hardest areas. You can't choose where fat comes off first, but you can create the conditions that make your body finally flip the switch.
3. The main culprit: cortisol, the stress hormone. You can control your meals, your workouts, your calories, but there's one silent factor that determines whether your lower belly fat will actually go away: cortisol, the stress hormone. When stress is prolonged, your body doesn't distinguish between work pressure and real danger. It simply receives the signal that you're in a survival state. And in that state, your body prioritizes one thing: holding on to energy. Cortisol directly impacts your fat storage switches. When it's elevated, alpha receptors become more sensitive and more active, locking fat in place, especially around your belly. It doesn't just hold fat, it slows down or even blocks fat burning, even if you're dieting and training consistently. That's why you can be doing everything right on the surface, but internally, your body isn't cooperating. Lack of sleep, work pressure, constant overthinking, even pushing yourself too hard to lose weight quickly, all raise cortisol levels. And when this becomes your daily pattern, your body interprets it as, this is not a safe time to release energy. You can't change how your receptors are distributed, but you can absolutely influence the environment that controls how they behave. When you start sleeping better, reducing nighttime stimulation, managing stress, and giving your nervous system time to relax, cortisol levels begin to drop. And when that happens, your body shifts from defense mode into a more balanced state. That's when the lock on your lower belly finally starts to loosen. Fat loss is not just about calories. It's about the state your body is in every single day. You don't need to force your body to let go of fat. You need to make it feel safe enough to let go on its own.
4. Circadian rhythm, the forgotten fat burn clock. Your body doesn't operate randomly. Every day, there's an internal biological clock that controls nearly everything: your metabolism, hormones, and even how your body burns or stores fat. Your circadian rhythm is the foundation of efficient fat loss. When it's aligned, your body knows when to be alert, when to rest, when to use energy, and when to recover. But just a few common habits can throw this entire system off. Staying up late, eating late at night, and exposure to phone light in the evening confuse your brain about time. Your body thinks it's still in an active state when it should be entering deep recovery. This misalignment doesn't just affect sleep, it disrupts your hormones. Cortisol rises at night instead of in the morning, keeping your body in a prolonged stress state. Meanwhile, insulin becomes less effective, reducing your ability to process energy from food. The result? Your body shifts into storage mode, and the lower belly becomes a priority fat storage zone. You can eat perfectly clean and train hard, but if your circadian rhythm is disrupted, your body is simply not in a fat-burning state. The fix isn't complicated. It's in small, consistent habits. Going to bed before 11 p.m. helps your body enter its natural recovery cycle. Eating dinner earlier gives your digestive system time to rest before sleep.
Getting natural sunlight in the morning helps reset your internal clock and bring your hormones back into alignment. When you live in sync with your circadian rhythm, your body starts to function smoothly again. Hormones stabilize, sleep deepens, and fat burning happens naturally.
5 small habits that lower cortisol and help burn belly fat. Habit 1. Control your caffeine, coffee. You might not realize it, but that afternoon cup of coffee can quietly slow down your fat loss progress. Caffeine doesn't just keep you alert, it subtly affects your sleep and your hormones. It takes your body 8 to 10 hours to fully clear caffeine. That means when you drink coffee in the afternoon, it's still active in your nervous system late into the night. You may still fall asleep, but your sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and not deep enough for true recovery. Once sleep is disrupted, a chain reaction begins. Cortisol rises higher the next day, putting your body into a low-grade, prolonged stress state. And in that state, your body prioritizes holding on to energy, especially in the lower belly. You can still eat right and train consistently, but one small daily habit is enough to throw the entire process off track. The solution isn't to eliminate coffee completely. It's about timing. Limit caffeine after 12 p.m. on most days of the week. This simple shift can deepen your sleep, stabilize your hormones, and gradually move your body into a fat-burning state.
Habit 2. Walk daily, especially outdoors. You don't need another exhausting workout to burn fat more effectively. Sometimes what your body needs is much simpler. Daily walking, especially outdoors, is one of the most underrated habits with a powerful impact on fat loss. Just 20 minutes under natural sunlight can begin to shift your body into a more balanced state. Morning or early daylight helps regulate your circadian rhythm, while gentle movement activates your relaxation response. When this system is active, baseline stress decreases, heart rate stabilizes, and hormones begin to rebalance. This directly impacts fat burning. As stress drops and cortisol lowers, your body no longer feels the need to hold on to energy in the lower belly. At the same time, regular walking improves insulin sensitivity, meaning your body uses energy from food more efficiently instead of storing it as fat. Walking doesn't feel intense, but it quietly transforms your internal environment every day. No pressure, no burnout, just consistent.
Habit 3. Don't eat too close to bedtime. You might be doing almost everything right, but one small evening habit can slow your entire fat loss process. Eating too close to bedtime prevents your body from shifting into recovery and fat-burning mode. When you eat late, your digestive system has to keep working while your body should be resting. Energy is directed toward processing food instead of repair and regeneration. This creates subtle stress across your system, making sleep lighter and more easily disrupted. When sleep lacks depth, fat-burning hormones become less effective while energy storage signals increase. Your body doesn't enter the optimal state to use fat as fuel, especially in the lower belly. On the other hand, when you stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, your body has enough time to finish digestion. Sleep becomes deeper and more stable, allowing your body to fully shift into recovery mode. In that state, fat burning happens more naturally, without extra effort. You don't need to do more, just give your body the right conditions at the right time.
Habit 4. Keep your sleep environment dark and cool. You may not pay attention to it, but your sleep environment quietly determines your sleep quality and fat-burning ability every night. A room that's too bright or too warm can disrupt your body's entire recovery process. When light is still present, your brain doesn't fully recognize that it's nighttime. This reduces melatonin production, the hormone responsible for deep sleep. At the same time, a warm environment makes it harder for your body to cool down, which is a key signal for initiating quality sleep.
When these conditions aren't met, sleep becomes shallow, fragmented, and insufficient. As a result, cortisol stays elevated and your body doesn't fully enter a relaxed state. In that condition, fat burning is limited, especially in stubborn areas like the lower belly. In contrast, a dark and cool room sends a clear signal to your body to rest. Melatonin rises naturally, sleep deepens, and your nervous system stabilizes. Cortisol drops, allowing your body to use energy more efficiently throughout the night. You don't need a major overhaul. Simply dim the lights and adjust the temperature, and you've already moved your body closer to a natural fat-burning state.
Habit 5. Avoid overstimulating your brain before bed. You might prepare everything for a good night's sleep, but just a few minutes before bed can undo it all. Short, fast-paced content like TikTok, Instagram, or negative news overstimulates your brain, keeping you in a state of alertness instead of relaxation. When your mind is still wired, your body can't shift into rest mode. Your heart rate stays elevated, your thoughts keep racing, and your sleep becomes shallow and easily disrupted. As a result, cortisol remains high, interfering with recovery and limiting fat burning overnight. You don't have to eliminate entertainment entirely, just change how you end your day. Choose slower, less stimulating content, like reading a few pages of a book, listening to a calm podcast, or watching a longer, slower-paced video. These help your brain wind down and bring your body back into balance. When your mind cools down, sleep deepens naturally, and only in that state can your body perform its essential functions, including using energy more efficiently.
Habit 6. Cut back or pause alcohol. You might be disciplined with your diet and workouts, but a few drinks can quietly set you back. Alcohol isn't just empty calories, it disrupts your sleep in ways you may not notice. After drinking, you may fall asleep faster, but that sleep is often shallow and fragmented. Your body doesn't stay in deep sleep long enough to fully recover. Over time, this leads to hormonal imbalance, elevated cortisol, and a noticeable decline in fat-burning efficiency, especially in the lower belly. Additionally, alcohol forces your body to prioritize detoxification instead of burning fat for energy. This delays fat loss, even if your overall diet is on point. You don't have to quit forever. Just take a 2 to 4 week break, and you'll likely feel a clear difference: deeper sleep, a lighter body, lower stress, and a more efficient metabolism. It's not a massive change, but it's powerful enough to open the path for your body to return to balance.
6. Insulin, the silent fat storage switch. You may not see it or feel it day to day, but insulin is quietly determining whether your body burns fat or stores it. When this hormone stays elevated for long periods, your body is essentially locked in storage mode, especially in the lower belly. Every time you eat, insulin rises to manage blood sugar. That's normal. The problem begins when you snack constantly, consume high amounts of sugar and refined carbs, or stay inactive. In that case, insulin never gets the chance to drop low enough to trigger fat burning. Your body enters a loop. Energy keeps coming in, but it's not used efficiently. The excess is converted into fat and stored, often in the lower belly. You can still train consistently and control your calories, but if insulin stays high, your body struggles to access its stored energy. The solution isn't extreme restriction, it's better structure. Spacing your meals allows insulin to drop between them, creating windows where your body can switch into fat-burning mode. Prioritizing whole, minimally processed foods helps stabilize blood sugar and avoid sharp spikes. A simple but powerful habit is light movement after meals, like a short walk. This helps your body use incoming energy immediately, reducing the burden on insulin and limiting fat storage. You don't need perfection. You just need to create an internal environment where your body has the chance to use energy, instead of holding on to it.
7. Deep sleep, the free fat-burning medicine. You can spend hours in the gym, carefully plan every meal, and still overlook a factor that has a greater impact than you realize. Deep sleep is the free fat-burning medicine your body needs every single day. Getting enough hours of sleep doesn't necessarily mean it's enough. What your body truly needs is quality sleep. When you enter deep sleep, a series of critical processes are activated. Growth hormone is released, supporting recovery and encouraging the body to use fat as fuel. At the same time, cortisol levels drop, allowing your body to shift out of a stressed state and into balance. In that state, your body no longer prioritizes storing energy. It begins using what's already been stored, including fat in stubborn areas like the lower belly. On the other hand, when your sleep is disrupted or not deep enough, everything moves in the opposite direction. Hunger increases, especially cravings for sugar and high-energy foods. Your ability to control your eating decreases, while your fat-burning efficiency declines. You might be eating right and training properly, but just a few consecutive days of poor sleep can make your body respond as if you're doing everything wrong. Deep sleep isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. When you start prioritizing it, going to bed on time, reducing stimulation before sleep, and creating a proper sleep environment, your body will respond clearly. You don't need to do more. You need to give your body the chance to function properly while you rest. 8. NEAT, the most underrated movement factor. You might train hard every day, but if you barely move for the rest of the time, your fat-burning results will still be limited. NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, is the energy you burn outside of workouts, coming from small everyday actions like walking, standing, changing posture, and general movement throughout the day. This is a factor many people overlook, yet it accounts for a significant portion of your daily energy expenditure. 1 hour in the gym cannot compensate for 10 hours of sitting still. When your body remains inactive for long periods, your metabolism slows down, your ability to use energy decreases, and your body becomes more likely to store fat. You don't need to turn everything into an intense workout. What you need is more natural, consistent movement throughout your day. Walk more instead of sitting for long stretches. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Stand while working, or simply get up for a few minutes after every period of sitting. These actions don't feel extreme, but when added up, they create a noticeable difference. Your body stays in an active state, energy is continuously used, and fat burning becomes more stable. NEAT isn't flashy. It doesn't give you the rush of high-intensity training, but it is the foundation that helps you maintain a flexible body and efficient energy expenditure.
9. The fat loss mindset, the invisible enemy. You might be doing everything right in terms of diet and training, yet unknowingly create an invisible barrier in your own mind. The pressure to lose fat quickly keeps you in a constant state of stress, making you feel like you're never good enough, never fast enough, never effective enough. Every time you look in the mirror, every time you compare yourself to others, you push your body into a perceived threat state. Your brain doesn't distinguish between psychological pressure and real danger. It responds by increasing cortisol, holding on to energy, and limiting fat loss. The more you force yourself to change quickly, the more your body slows down. The more you try to control everything perfectly, the more likely you are to fall into a cycle of exhaustion, loss of motivation, and starting over again. This isn't a discipline problem. It's about how you treat yourself throughout the journey. When you shift your focus from results to the process, everything begins to change. You stop obsessing over daily numbers and start paying attention to the habits you're building. Your body gradually moves out of defense mode, becoming more stable and cooperative. A long-term mindset allows you to stay consistent without force. You stop chasing quick changes only to burn out. Instead, you build a lifestyle your body can adapt to and grow with over time.
10. Biological patience, when your body isn't ready yet.
You can be highly disciplined and determined, but your body doesn't operate on willpower. It operates on biological signals. Lower belly fat is only released when your body feels safe, not threatened, not under prolonged stress. When you eat too little, overtrain, sleep poorly, and stay mentally stressed, your body interprets this as a bad time to unlock energy reserves. It shifts into defense mode, holding on to what it considers essential, and the lower belly is one of the areas it prioritizes protecting. You can push harder and tighten your approach, but that often creates the opposite effect. The more you force it, the more your body resists, not because you lack effort, but because the signals you're sending trigger self-protection. Real change begins when you adjust your approach. Instead of trying to control everything through pressure, you start creating an environment where your body feels stable. Eating enough, sleeping deeply, reducing stress, and maintaining reasonable movement. These don't produce instant results, but they send a very clear signal. Your body is no longer in survival mode, it shifts into a state of growth. And when that happens, fat loss begins to occur more naturally. No force, no extremes, just a sustainable and clear process.
11. A two-phase strategy to lose lower belly fat. You're not failing at losing lower belly fat, you're just following the wrong order. Your body doesn't respond well when you jump straight into aggressive fat loss without building a proper foundation first. To change the most stubborn fat areas, you need to follow two clear phases, each with a different role. Phase 1. Build the foundation. This is the part most people skip because it doesn't show immediate results. You begin by reducing stress, improving sleep, and stabilizing your biological rhythms. When you sleep deeply and manage stress, your hormones gradually rebalance. Your body exits defense mode and stops holding on to energy so aggressively. At this stage, you don't need to be overly strict with diet or training. The priority is creating a stable internal environment so your body is ready to change. This is the unlocking step many people miss. Phase 2. Accelerate fat loss. Once the foundation is solid, creating a calorie deficit becomes truly effective. You maintain a balanced diet, train consistently, and your body begins to respond more clearly. Energy is used efficiently, and fat starts to be released, even from the most stubborn areas. The key difference is that you're no longer forcing it. Your body is cooperating instead of resisting. The most important factor is long-term consistency, not just for a few days or weeks, but maintaining these habits long enough for your body to fully adapt. When the foundation is strong, fat loss is no longer a battle. It becomes the natural result of a body functioning the way it's supposed to. When your body is ready, lower belly fat will disappear. You're not stuck with lower belly fat because you're not trying hard enough. You're missing the right perspective on how your body works. Once you understand what's happening internally, everything starts to make sense. Lower belly fat isn't your weakest point, it's your most protected. Your body holds on to it not to fight you, but to keep you safe. When hormones are imbalanced, stress is chronic, sleep is poor, and your biological rhythm is disrupted, your body chooses to hold on rather than let go. That's why the harder you force it, the slower the results become. Sustainable change begins when you stop chasing short-term solutions. You start building a foundation. Sleep better, reduce stress, eat at the right times, move more throughout the day. These don't create instant results, but they reshape your internal environment. And when that environment becomes stable, fat loss truly begins. At that point, proper nutrition and consistent training finally reach their full potential. You're no longer fighting your body, you're working with it. This isn't about forcing your body to change. It's about making your body ready to change. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent long enough for your body to feel safe. When that signal is repeated day after day,
The final wall will eventually break down, and when it does, you'll realize something very clearly. Results don't come from doing more. They come from understanding correctly and staying consistent long enough.